I'm lucky enough that my mom doesn't really care.
It just kind of like sucks that the bar for like trans support is like so low that like someone not caring is seen as like a positive. Yo, Clove, me too. Based. Saying I'm one of the good ones as you are being forced into mental asylums by the conservative overlords. Yeah, I don't act like it. I'm not shoving it in everyone's faces. I don't even like, you know, tell people my pronouns. Everybody's using my biologically determined pronouns.
Yo, Clove, I've seen you on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah!
Am I being recognized? That's funny.
How's your day been on this game?
Pretty good so far. What about you?
I mean, I'm not very open on this game, so nobody really harasses me.
That's valid, yeah.
When I was, though, a lot of people had a problem with it. Okay, brave for doing that.
I mean, you know, like it means more that like other trans people see that you can endure all
Yeah.
this shit. It just sucks that you have to. You have to like tank it. But it's valid, you know, even if you have to hide because of the abuse. Pretty good on the questions about your
It's
plugs.
just like a lot of people get to me, you know, that's all.
Yeah, I get it.
I just tell you to kill yourself. Because you apparently don't belong in this world or something.
Oh yeah. I mean, I spend a lot of time on Twitter. I get that constantly.
Yeah. Oh my god, not Twitter.
This is
I saw one of
wholesome.
your TikToks today, actually.
Oh, which one?
Like Gray's asking questions.
Oh, that was wholesome. Yeah, I like that.
I wonder how that must feel for you, man. Like, honestly, I don't get it. How you can just withdraw so many dramas and stuff.
Last player.
I'm kind of used to it.
You poor soul. Nah, cause like I've been the victim of very intrusive questions, not even like in this game, but genuinely in real life by strangers that are most likely like adults. So like asking me invasive questions about my body is not really.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
It feels like a lot of like cis people have like no shame when it comes to it.
Yeah. They think being trans means like you're open with talking about the surgeries and stuff.
Exactly, yeah. The amount of time people, you know, ask me about my sex life and whatnot is crazy.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Respectfully, do you have genitalia? Yeah, exactly. Many such cases.
I don't want to sound pitiful or anything, but I feel trans women have it a lot harder than me as a trans man.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. It's just like the focus from like media coverage and so on is more on like trans women.
Yeah, I don't get it, honestly. I've met
But
a
I
couple
mean-
of trans women. All of them have been sweet so far. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we are being portrayed as like evil, degenerates, addicts and whatnot.
Predators, most likely.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
seen it, yeah. Like, why would anybody go through years of like therapy to just do that? That doesn't
Exactly,
really
yeah.
make sense. No.
But it's just like, it sucks to deal with gender dysphoria in general, so...
Yeah, it sucks. Even like when people put you down and just tell you're invalid because of it.
Yeah, but you're
Like
valid.
like the media portraying others like as monsters. Like I'm just a child. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah, it sucks that like so many people just like don't, like they refuse to believe that, you know, trans kids can exist. And that's just like invalidate you like completely.
It sucks that all of my healthcare depends on my parents.
Yeah, it sucks. I wish it was better. Like I have people throw like wild accusations at me just for like sharing my experience as like you know, growing up as a trans kid without representation, education.
No, that sucks. Like being viewed as invalid just because you experienced something bad when you were a child.
Exactly, yeah. It's like people refusing to believe that you can have like your gender identity and like sense of self at like a younger age. And, like suddenly you turn 18 and then you have it like all figured out, but that's just not how it works.
I've been out for 4 years since 2020, or like.
Oh damn.
I'm lucky enough that my mom doesn't really care, but my dad is something else.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's getting better slowly.
I'm glad. It just kind of like sucks that the bar for like trans support is like so low that like someone not caring is seen as like a positive.
Yeah.
Bro can't even break 200 viewers.
I've been
That's
like
insane.
lucky enough to even have my name legally changed.
Welcome everybody. We're talking with the trans boy who actually knows my who saw my TikToks. Very sweet, no?
Also, I've seen the TikToks like people labeling you as a femboy. That doesn't really make sense to me. Is that like a whole different thing?
Yeah, it happens a lot actually.
You poor soul.
It's just, you know, if your voice is like ambiguous or whatnot, you're basically just labeled a femboy. Trans men exist? They do! Actually.
It may be because of the voice being androgynous, they just want to tie you to some box.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Dumb
Yeah.
bitch.
Very smart kid, not gonna
I don't
lie.
really get the assumption of people. They just make assumptions about somebody because they don't know where to put them on the spectrum. Like, that doesn't mean you have to treat a person differently because based on their gender identity. I don't know.
The fact that it's even like an issue, you know, that people need to like draw attention to it is already like kind of weird.
I feel bad. Like, I've seen some of your stuff. Those people genuinely, like, I don't know how you are just so calm all the time.
Jeez.
Well, I wish you safety. Bye.
You too.
He's my boyfriend. I love him.
Very cute. It's very cute. Like very valid struggles, and I'm wishing him the best. That was pretty sweet. But yeah, trans kids exist, and it sucks that like, you know, the existence is just like being invalidated completely, and the struggles aren't being heard. You know, for those reasons, because it's like, oh yeah, no, kids can't be trans. Oh, you're grooming. You're evil. Trans kids exist and they're on VALORANT, not in your walls. Exactly. Not evil. And, you know, trans kids are aware of their struggles, are aware of their dysphoria. They know that they're constantly being dragged down because, you know, a mismatch between their gender identity and their sex. And people can't support that because, you know, oh, it's just a phase. 4 years? Coming out 4 years? That's a really long time. This is not just like a phase at this point. You cannot tell me that this is just a phase, that this is just like someone who's a confused child who just wants to be like, basically like a superhero or acting like a transformer or whatnot. Like, you cannot invalidate someone's lived experience because you don't have the same struggles. And it's painful to me to hear like the hurt and like, you know, having to deal with like the needless suffering, just wanting to be included, being seen as who they are inside and not judged based on like, I don't know, their phenotypical sex characteristics, not having to exist as like a weird encyclopedia where people are like asking questions, asking a kid questions about like, you know, weird intimacy, genitalia, and whatnot. I don't get how you can come to the conclusion that there are no trans kids. Makes no sense. Where do they come from then? When you turn 18, apparently something in your brain flicks, and I don't know, you're brained and evil and a groomer and disgusting and a pedo. And if you're younger, you're a grooming victim. That didn't sound like a supportive you know, family that is like pushing him into like this position because they really wanted to have a boy. When it comes to the support of like the trans community, someone not caring, someone not interfering, that is already seen as like really positive. The bar is so incredibly low. We're not asking for much. We're not asking for like, you know, standing ovation anytime we go into a room. That's not what we are asking for. Just like someone making it easier for us, right? When you're around people, when you're befriending like a trans person and they get misgendered by someone to like, you know, maybe bring attention to it. That's what like Savvy did. I really appreciated Savvy. You know, anytime someone was like, are you a he or she? Or like someone misgendering me and, you know, Savvy just like immediately just correcting them. I obviously feel guilty because I wish I had a voice where people would place me in the she, her category immediately. I feel guilty for not making it easy for cis people to gender me correctly. And then I constantly have people invalidate that effort. Like, you're never going to be seen as a woman anyway, because you're not a woman because of your biological sex. Parents doesn't care, just doesn't speak up for me, but she doesn't step in my way either. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, hot take. I don't care about misgendering if I don't pass. I mean, the thing is like, I initially didn't either. When I started transitioning, when I didn't do any voice training, I didn't expect to get gendered correctly. But now, you know, you're putting effort, you're doing voice training, you're going on HRT, you're trying to present in a specific way and whatnot. And then you still get misgendered. I'm playing with your own priest, I'm playing with you too. Internalized transphobia. Yeah, I mean, I get where it comes from. Like, not feeling valid if you do not, you know, you don't look the part. It is just that the constant, like the moving the goalpost, the constant invalidation, no matter how much effort you put into it. Being gendered correctly shouldn't be conditional. Yeah, it is just, the thing is like people place others in a category based on what they are familiar with. From a really young age, you're being taught basically how girls look like, how boys look like, that there's like some in between, but people, you know, always find like a one or two aspects that they're using in order to place you. A lot of cis people get misgendered if they do not fulfill like these, you know, conditions and so on. But obviously, if you're trans and you're living in a heavily gendered, patriarchal society that pushes gender norms, stereotypes, and so on, in order to be seen as the other gender, you need to look like that, you need to act like that, you need to sound like it. There is not like a strict checklist. This is what women sound like. It's not black or white. There is a lot of overlap, but there are a lot of people who use, you know, the fact that you were born as the, you know, wrong sex. They're using that constantly, like moving the goalposts and just invalidating you completely. And it sucks. It sucks because it feels like it is my fault for not matching other people's expectations. The amount of people who told me that I shouldn't do content because I haven't figured out voice training enough yet. I don't pass enough using my voice. So I shouldn't utilize it. I shouldn't speak. I got that a lot. And I shared my entire trans journey. I shared everything. I shared what I'm going through. I shared my insecurities, and they're obviously being weaponized against me, right? I'm the gate from the last game. Sorry if I offended you. No, you didn't. It was a nice talk. I do wish you the best. And, you know, you deserve to be happy. And your struggles deserve to be heard. You should be able to just exist as who you are. And the fact that, you know, you came out 4 years ago, you know this about yourself for a really long time, you're consistent in your gender identity and people still invalidate you, it sucks. It sucks. My partner luckily doesn't mind. That's good. That's good. I'm glad. You deserve all the support. And I'm so sorry that people are really inappropriate to you. Like, holy, I don't want to be annoying saying this. I did not have any friends, so technically we're based voice-wise. Legit from family, and yes, a smoking grandma is something, sometimes deep voice. When it comes to like playing video games, right? People hit me with like, oh, I don't sound normal. They are hanging around other guys. The guys sound like them. And then they hear like a more feminine voice, and then it's like, oh, that is other. But it's also not the same as like the anime girls that I'm familiar with. So obviously, it is like something in between. So that's why it's like, oh, are you a man or a woman? And to be fair, my voice does sit in the gender ambiguous range. Sorry if I use any name. I don't, it doesn't matter. You're good. You're using it as a habit, not as like a form to invalidate me. I get it. I can handle it. I love my boyfriend. That's pretty based. You deserve to be happy. Since cis people do not make an environment where people have to be heteronormative, not on gender non-conforming, and trans people to adhere to their strict bullshit. That's true. I have a speech impediment too, and it's so common in games like Valorant to be mocked for. Yeah, it's just like you're other, and that is like something that people use in order, like, against you for some reason. For some reason, people need to be like a dick about it. And I don't get it. Your voice is definitely more femme than mine. Your voice always comes off as to me. I mean, it always like depends on your environment. I get a lot of comments of people being like, oh yeah, I have a grandma, a mom who is German or whatnot, and she sounds like you. I think a lot of it is also like an accent thing. If you're not familiar, if you're like, you know, an American and you're hanging around other like valley girls or whatnot, or like you go into like a Starbucks and they're like the, you know, the customer support accent. Hey, nice to meet you. I hope you're doing great today. You know, it sounds a little bit different. There are a lot of women who like pitch their voice up in order to like be presenting more feminine for guys and so on. Obviously, depending on your environment, it might shift your experience. It might shift how you play certain people. That's why, you know, Ray said like, oh, you sound like a woman more. On the other hand, I have a lot of people who are like, oh, are you a femboy? Are you a lady boy or whatnot? Very admire you being so open. I mean, what else am I going to do? I kind of built my platform of like sharing all of these things and talking about like societal issues and so on. But yeah, like I talk about my experiences, my struggles, because, you know, I know that it helps a lot of people, and if I have to take the heat for it, then that's okay too. I wish I didn't. But because I share my experience as like as a trans woman who used to be a trans kid, you know, it's like me talking about like my experience by like trans people care about, you know, the next generation of trans kids, where we want to have, you know, trans kids be trans and be allowed to be themselves and be in an environment where they can be safe and, you know, being supported and whatnot. You helped me a lot. Thank you for talking to me about it. I'm glad that I can help. You know, it's kind of funny that you found my TikToks. Thank you. Do a lot for others in your community for taking the heat. Yeah, although I'm like always labeled as like controversial now. You're a legend? No. Shush. I'm glad that you at least like you're able to you know, somewhat express your gender identity, and you have like some support, because like growing up for me, like I didn't have anything. Like I kept everything inside me.
Well, little mouse.
I kept it all bottling up.
Keep it up.
Shut up and be happy that you help others.
Thank you, Carrot, for the bits. I appreciate it. Graceful critter. We get people so riled up by existing. Yeah, it's just because we're breaking the patriarchal stuff, and billionaires want to like push this culture war as like a distraction from like climate change and whatnot. I'm happy I have a partner. He's cis and he's generally the best person ever. I'm glad. All publicity is good publicity. I wouldn't have found you if Tecton wasn't code writing you. Yeah, I guess. It's kind of crazy that he like posted my face. He also told me to end my life. You know, that I'm going to be part of a statistic, which is wild. As someone who has dealt with like a lot of like suicidal thoughts and whatnot, having people like constantly go after me for that and tell me that like the world is a better place if you're gone. I'd be lying if I said it didn't get to me. But I have a lot of really good people in this community, and makes it all worth it. I've become so numb to death and NSA threats due to how often I get them. Yeah, it just sucks that you have to like kind of build like this like a mental barricade in general when your ego likes you. My TikToks have been blowing up again, and I'm actually like really happy about it. I had 23,000 views on like the video that I uploaded today. Whatever they did, whatever I did, kind of popping off again. It's been very hard for me because older men just grew me and asked me invasive questions at this point. I was scared to be open about it, because people just see me as a body most of the time. I'm sorry. It also happens in a lot of like femboy spaces. I can't imagine when it comes to like trans boys. It's just like in general, once you're like gender non-conforming, once you're trans, people are just like sexualizing you, and it sucks that you have to deal with it. I'm so sorry. Don't pop off. It's just more work. I'm sorry. I also want to upload more like you know, normal like stream content and so on, because I think that like a lot of people are like tired of like the political stuff. It's okay. Thank you for the sympathy. It's just like, as someone who just kept everything to myself, I had like nobody to trust. I didn't talk to anyone. I was like isolating myself. I was scared. I didn't have like the education on trans topics. The representation sucked, right? Like the common trope of like high school friend comes back from town and is now a woman. And then the guy freaks out because, you know, oh my God, you used to be a man and now you're a woman. Like something like this. Or I don't know, Big Bang Theory, or like Suits. Suits was like an insane moment, just like casually hitting out. It's like, oh, if I found out that a woman that I'm seeing turns out that she used to be a man, I'm not going to continue seeing her, as if like that is, you know, the same as like, what is it? Mark lying about going to Harvard and having a degree, like a law degree, like the same as like a trans woman. There's a lot of like misogynistic type of things when it comes to like being a trans woman, that it's like you just want to be a object because women are, you know, objects for men. So by you degrading yourself and being a woman, you want to have this attention. I saw like a bunch of like D&D horror stories where someone was like, oh yeah, so in order to like experiment with my gender identity and so on, I played a woman. I made like a female character. And then the DM was like, oh, you're a woman, so every NPC is like flirting with you, and because that's what you want, right? That's why you would play as a woman, right? That's the only reason. Obviously not the case. It's just delusional to believe that, like, you know, being a woman and being a subject is like equal, and the only reason why you would want, quote unquote, want to be a trans woman is to like sexualize yourself. When it comes to trans men, it's like the other way. It's like, oh, you've been shamed for the misogyny. You've been shamed out of your womanhood. That is why you think that you have to be a man. You think that you have to be a man in order to be successful in society. You're just a confused little girl. That's like the other end of the spectrum. Like, I ain't trying to make anybody uncomfortable in public spaces. I'm not some monster to be locked up. Exactly. It sucks that people, you know, use that as an excuse to, you know, sexualize you, treat you as lesser. Never understood the hatred. Like, what do they get out of it? It seems like such a sad way of looking at the world. Like, punching down. You can't change anything big in the world, so you're punching down. It's also like a lot of like resentment. Oh, I know my place, why don't you? Weirdly good trans representation was in 2.5 Men. To some extent, yeah. Charlie was like freaking out because like he slept with a woman and now he's a man and he sleeps with his mom. That was like the thing. He was shocked, but at the end he accepted him and all. Yeah, kinda. When it comes to like these types of episodes, the entire episode is not just like, oh, being supportive. It is just like being shocked, being outraged. And it feels like things haven't been necessarily getting better. But yeah, I'm glad that my content is doing well, not gonna lie. I like reaching more people who need to be reached, right? I feel like a lot of the things that I say is like, it's a very niche community, right? People who like VTubers, the people who like trans people, the people who are trans, the people who want to learn about trans stuff and whatnot. It's a very niche little circle. So it feels like I need to have my content like being pumped into like the masses to like find like some people who benefit from the message. Because like, you know, seeing messages, by the way, like Tecton leaking my face and whatnot, that's crazy. Having people send me DMs, like hate me for like talking about like trans kids and like what it was like to be a trans kid. Having people invalidate my experience as a trans person. Having people like call me a groomer, pedo and whatnot because, you know, of the things that I do. It sucks, but also what hurts me the most is when people with gender dysphoria do not want to be trans. And as a coping mechanism, they start attacking me. And then I get comments like, I get DMs like, you realize that all men wish they were women, right? You're only harming yourself by trying to pretend to be one. Either grow up or do it in private like every other man. I would feel bad for you if you weren't the way you were. Do it in private like every other man. It is so sad. It's so funny though. No, my only personality trait is that I'm trans, actually. Getting surprised when someone you knew for years as ABC and they suddenly show up as XYZ, I can understand the surprise, even the shock. But I generally don't think it should always be a negative. It's just like freaking out, being like, we showered together. And that is like the entire episode. That it is not about like understanding the trans experience, like hearing about the journey or whatnot. That is more like, why didn't you think about me? How do you think I'm affected by you transitioning? Why, this comes out of nowhere. Why are you doing it now? You lived so long this one way and now you're transitioning and you're doing these things? Like, that is... Have you not considered my feelings? Because people are bad faith actors caring about trans kids. It's grooming. Every right-wing accusations are a confession. Yeah, basically. Gender norms, gender ideology is only okay when it's conservatives telling boys how to be boys and girls how to be girls. Let kids be kids means that girls have to be taught that they will only ever be girls and they're going to grow up and be a wife and they are only going to have a husband and they're going to have 2 kids. And, you know, like, these are, like, the things, right? That is what they are forcing. And if you're offering the alternative, the breaking of these lines, you are seen as, like, a parasite and a danger to society. Every guy assuming they're fuckable the moment they find out someone is gay. Yeah. It's like coming out as bisexual to someone and then being like, yeah, but like, I'm not interested. I just wanted to let you know, like, I'm not like this. Let people be who they are and who they want to be. The thing is, like, children in today's society are seen as like a commodity and as like a... Oh, the parents know what's best. You know, it's basically like someone, you know, kid being like, I want to grow up and be an artist. And then being like, oh, AI is going to take over anyways. You have to be a doctor. You got to be a doctor. You got to make the family proud. You got to be a doctor. You got to be, you know, something like that. And it's like, okay, so my passion doesn't matter. What I'm interested doesn't matter. How I feel about certain things doesn't matter because like my parents know what's best for me. So another streamer say that he sometimes thought what it would be like a woman, but he is happy as a man. Of course, like people are curious sometimes, but if it's like really persistent and it's something that like negatively impacts your other areas of your life, it is very different. This is not like oh, I wonder what it's like to be a woman. Oh, every now and then I kind of like, I wonder what it's like for you girls. It's like I hate that I was born a man and I'm forced to be a man and fulfill the societal roles of a man, and I'm being held to certain standards that I do not feel comfortable with, that make me feel miserable, that make me feel numb, that make me feel anxious, that make me isolate myself. And worse, I would rather die now than grow old as a man. Yeah, I've been there. Being conservative is a submissive trait. They need to have a strong leader to obey and call them a good boy, girl, even called Trump daddy. Yeah, there's like merch, like some stupid orange t-shirt. Do you remember that one? Read article about conservatives complaining about Girl Scouts. You had gone woke and created their conservative alternative where girls don't go outside much and taught to be a housewife. Girl Scouts without scout parts, without dignity part 2. Yeah, that is what I call grooming. That is social conditioning. Or can anyone complain about Girl Scouts without realizing they sound crazy? Those same cookie girls? Only baking. Girls are only allowed to do baking and they have to be indoors and they cook and clean because they are biologically determined to do these roles. Estrogen makes you predisposed to be someone's housewife. But yeah, that was a really good talk. I'm glad to hear from trans kids who are going through similar struggles as I did years ago. Although I wish they wouldn't have to deal with any struggles. Wish the world was like a better place, you know? Was kinder to those that aren't quote unquote part of the norm.